when I heard that cancer word, let me tell you, my whole world got turned upside down. I like freaked out. And I was like, what am I going to do? I was like, I don't know what to do. Cancer, it's like I really thought at that time, my whole world just ended.
Today's podcast guest is a Navy veteran, world traveler, and health advocate, Steve Fillmore. Steve shares with us his world of experience of starting out life as a Navy man, spent his 10 years in the Navy, even rode into the perfect storm at age 19 with 90-foot waves and thought, this is it. This is where I'm going to die. He lived past that endeavor and then went on to do some amazing things and then fought cancer, testicular cancer, not once, but twice. And he shares some information that all men across the world are going to want to listen and know and share. He's a network marketer, and he talks about the benefits of being in multi-level marketing and network marketing in today's business climate, how you could have huge tax advantages, what you can do to have success in business today. Today's podcast guest, Steve Fillmore, is one to listen to.
My name's Travis Sims, and I am the founder and CEO of AGC Accelerated Global Connections. And this is the AGC Experience.
We live in a new normal. These are the words of Marjorie Austin, estate planning attorney. Her presence, perception, and goal is to be a person who helps people in these new normal times. She had a client call recently to say that because of our present health questions, he and his wife are committed to updating their estate plan. They want to be sure that they and their loved ones are protected in case something happens to any of their family. Do you have a healthcare directive in place, a power of attorney for finances, a will or trust? Do you have a family member with a disability and want him or her to be protected as well? In the event of a death in your family, she is ready to assist with post-death legal issues. We are truly in this together. Let's do what we can to be prepared. It's easy to put things on tomorrow's list when life is going well. Uncertainties remind us that being prepared can make the difference between good and bad outcomes. Contact MJ today to get your protective legal documents started. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. MJ can help. MJ Austin Law, PLLC, 763-229-0212 or MJ at mjaustinlaw.com.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm here today with my friend, Steve Fillmore. I'm super excited to have Steve on the AGC Experience podcast. Known Steve for, I don't know, maybe a couple of years now. A couple years, and just a super awesome individual. You've got some amazing things going. I couldn't wait to interview just based upon what I see on your social media alone, what you're doing in the blog world, your website. You've just got a lot of things to share. You've got an interesting history, and I wanted to share you with our audience. So Steve, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and share, please.
Hey, so thank you, Travis. Where can I start? Let's see. I grew up in Prior Lake, Minnesota. Pretty much a native to Minnesota. I actually was born in North Carolina. My father was in the Marines, and my father met my mom over in Taiwan. And long story short, here's where I'm at. So grew up in Prior Lake. After high school, I went to a year of college, didn't like that, got bored with college, and I decided to join the U.S. Navy. So I was in the Navy for about 7 years, I think it was. And best time of my life, would totally do it all over again. Best friendships I had during the Navy. Real quick story in the Navy. My first tour of duty, I was on a Knots class frigate. And it's about the size of a football field. And I held about 600 guys at the time. And my first tour out to sea, we had to go out into the perfect storm that they made the movie from. So let me tell you, as 19 years old, I thought, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Here I'm riding, 90-foot waves going like this, and 50-degree rolls going like this, sicker than a dog. It's crazy, crazy, crazy times. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Did that for 7 years. I was based out of Norfolk, Virginia initially, and then my first ship got decon. That ship got sold to the Greeks, and I got switched over to the Roosevelt, which I don't know if you guys have seen. The Theodore Roosevelt aircraft carrier has been on the news because a lot of the guys on there have actually gotten the COVID-19. So my heart and thoughts and prayers goes out to the men and women on that ship. As they're sitting. I think the ship is sitting in. I think it's sitting in Guam right now while they work through that COVID-19 and quarantine the entire ship, I assume. So, but yeah, so U.S. Navy, present day, currently I'm a flight attendant by day for Delta Airlines. Been flying for Delta for a little over, I start my 23rd year in May. And love that job. It's a great opportunity to meet a lot of people. I love the job because the environment as a flight attendant changes all the time. It's never boring. I've tried a few office jobs in my past careers. Hate working in an office because it's for me it's boring. It's not mentally stimulating like being a flight attendant. But yeah, so flight attendant, and then got a side business. I do network marketing with a company, and I love network marketing because it's mentally challenging. It gives me an opportunity for a lot of self growth and an opportunity to impact a lot of lives as well. So
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's a lot, Steve. That's a lot. Oh my gosh. And I can't remember. I feel like I knew about the Navy with you, but I can't place for sure that I knew that. 7 years in the Navy.
yeah.
And so tell me if you can tell me, what are some of the cool places that you went in the Navy?
Actually, when I went in the Navy, I signed up for it was the term was 7 years of active duty, and there was some reserve duty at that. So it was a total time of 10 years. Um, it was towards the end of the Gulf War. So my tour, you're gonna laugh at this. It was actually pretty easy. My tour, I went to the Bahamas and Caribbean like 25 times, Puerto Rico like 30 times, and then we did war games with the Canadian Navy off the coast of Nova Scotia. So it was
Oh,
actually it was a cake tour duty. I mean, I
yeah.
didn't see any wartime. I wasn't
Hmm.
over in the Middle East or anything like that. So
Sure.
it was actually pretty easy. And the job that I had in the Navy, I was um, I was a photographer. So pretty easy job taking pictures of Navy life. And then, if the president came on board, we had to take pictures of the president. And, I created a yearly, like a yearbook for the ship. And then funny story here too, in the Navy life, um, there's certain things that, certain jobs that as a sailor we don't like to do. Like I hated doing my own laundry. So guys, my shipmates, they wanted nice pictures of Navy life, so it's like, hey, let's barter and trade. So I had my buddies doing my laundry. I said, here's the only stipulation: you do my laundry and I'll take some great pictures for you so that you can have. So we traded.
Oh, that's awesome. So you've always been the entrepreneur. I mean, even
Yeah,
back in your Navy days.
yeah, oh yeah, yep,
Oh,
yeah, it's
that's
fun.
awesome. So you didn't see the action time, but you spent a lot of time on a boat. What kind of life lessons did you take away from living on a boat?
So, living on the ship, so this is early 1990s. We didn't have Wi-Fi, we didn't have DVDs or live satellite or anything like that. We had shoot to make the time go by, we watched VHS tapes, like movies like 20, 30 times, because typically when we went out to sea, we would go out to sea for 3 months at a time. So it was rewatching the same movies over and over and over again. What did it teach me? It taught me patience.
Patience.
Patience, being able to just get still and truly enjoy. the moment. Because what was the one of the best things out at sea was it was super quiet. You didn't have the city lights, no city noise, no light pollution. I remember one of the best things in the Navy in being out to sea was seeing the galaxy, the stars. I mean, I could fully see the Milky Way going across the sky, which was just amazing. It was beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Do you think that that has shown you a greater appreciation to stop today and take notice of things like that?
yes, yes, it's I will, for myself, there was a time in my life where I got super busy. I had a couple of businesses going on. I was, working full time for the airlines. And, when my family and friends would call and say, "Hey, let's get together," I would push them aside and say, "You know what? I'm too busy. I'm too busy, too busy,
Yeah.
too busy." And this time right now with the COVID-19, it's literally stopped the entire world, and it's forced us to be still and acknowledge what's important.
Hmm.
And being in the Navy, being out to sea for 3 months at a time, I had plenty of quiet time to really think about life. Granted, I was 19 years old, I was young and stupid, and but it really gave me an opportunity to sit, to reflect on a lot of things, and then also too, being on the ship, to build those friendships too. I had
Yeah.
times where, I mean, we God, the friendships were, how do I compare it to? It's like, there's just a special bond. I don't know what the words to put to it when the friendships between between military people, between military men and women, especially for us sailors, because we're stuck on a boat floating around in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
What else are we gonna do? We gotta talk to each other about something. So what better time to get to know each other on the ship? So yeah, I miss that. Out here in the civilian world, you know, the, yeah, I'm sure there's opportunities to have that. And even, I take that back. I look at COVID-19. Um, we're stuck inside using technology. We do have an opportunity to connect with people. Granted, it's not in person, but we still have the technology to truly connect one on one and heart to heart with people.
Yeah, I know even myself, and I can imagine a lot of others are in that spot where they're doing the exact same things. I mean, it made me slow down. I mean, I like to think that I have a pretty good, healthy work-life balance. I've learned that over time because I've had times in my career where I was so crazy busy that I looked up and everybody else was in bed and I'd worked the whole night away
Right.
and realize that the things that you're working for, most people, if you ask them, so why do you work so hard? Well, it's so I can provide for my family. Okay, or it's I can take the vacations that I want to take, or I can put the thing in the garage that I can do. And they're working so hard for all these things that while they're working, they're not even taking time to enjoy the things that they're working for.
Yeah.
So when you said it slowed the whole world down, I can agree with that. Because I find myself checking in on mom and dad and checking in on my brothers and sisters. I've talked more to my youngest brother in the last 3 weeks than I have in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think it's an important lesson for all of us. What are we working so hard for? And
Yeah.
it's the people that we love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and it brings the thought too, we work our tails off for what? To gain more money. If we're working so hard and our health our health gets bad because of it, then how are we supposed to enjoy that money that we made?
Yeah.
So I mean, that brings up to mind another story, in my mind, that everything happens for a reason, and our words are super powerful. Back in 2013, I remember having a conversation with my husband, and I said, "Hey, I said, wouldn't it be great to have the summer off?" And I was like, yeah, it'd be great to have the summer off. Well, this was it was January of that year. And come May of that same year, I had gotten diagnosed with cancer. And I was like, holy cows. It's like, you know what? I look back at the conversation I had in January. I was not specific enough when it came to what I spoke out into the universe. So I actually
Mhm.
manifested, if you will, to have the summer off, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Now that's I'm glad you shared that because I would agree with you. I think words and language is so important. And you mentioned patience earlier, and my mom used to say, "Don't pray for patience,"
Yeah,
because it could create this long waiting for everything that you want in life. And no matter what you believe, if you're praying or you're just positive affirmations or what it is that you do, words matter, language matters, and you say and you believe that hey, maybe I manifested my summer off, and it's not the exact way that you wanted to take it. um,
exactly.
so what you're a cancer survivor, not one time but two times, is that right?
2 times. Yeah,
Two
2 years in a
times.
row.
Two times cancer survivor. I read that on your social media, and I first of all, I can't even imagine. So far, I've been a healthy person. I'm getting ready to turn 45 next month, and I've been a healthy person. But there is a lot of focus on breast care awareness. I mean, that's a huge focus and an important one. I don't want to take away from that. But there are not a lot of men talking about the cancer that you have, or at least that I've been around. So could you share your experience and what you learned from it, and anything that you think that our audience at home or that's watching, listening, and we have an audience from all over the country, all over the world, that could probably benefit from what you're about to share.
So this goes out to the guys. Us guys, we are stubborn as heck when it comes to self-care and our own health.
Yeah.
We will have an ache and pain and we'll pop an aspirin and it could be something, something worse. So the cancer that I had, it was back in 2013. I had some groin pain and it's like, oh, I just got groin pain from working out, doing too many squats. I ignored the signs for 6 months. And then it was time for me to go get my physical. And I shared, what was going on with my doctor. And the doctor, long story short, set up all the tests, blood tests, ultrasound, and I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. And when I heard that cancer word, let me tell you, my whole world got turned upside down. I like freaked out and I was like, what am I going to do? I was like, I don't know what to do. Cancer, it's like I really thought at that time my whole world just ended because I didn't know how to process it. And I sat with the diagnosis for a week because at the time I'm still a believer in natural health. So I made the mistake of going to the almighty Google and searching for cures for cancer, which is, you know what? Don't do that. I mean, Google has a time and place for certain things, but when you go down the rabbit hole of looking for cures for cancer, it's gonna make a person more confused, more depressed, and yeah, you just follow what your doctor says. Whatever doctor you may be going to, an allopathic doctor, natural doctor, and then also to I just want to emphasize that with cancer, um, it's your journey. So whatever you decide to do, that's your choice. Don't let anybody um, make you feel guilty for not doing a certain treatment or not doing any treatment. It's your journey, and it's okay to decide whatever you want to do with that cancer. So when I sat with it for a week, I decided to do it both Western the method, so the surgery, the
Mhm.
orchidectomy, and then also to combine that with holistic healing as well, so natural therapies as well. Um, Yeah, and a little side note too, one of the warning signs that you can look for the men, this is for the men out there, but for the ladies too, if you're very intimate with your guy partner. So with testicular cancer, the testicle is going to feel a little bit abnormal. There might be bumps, there might be some pain down there. And if you experience anything like that, make sure you go see your urologist and get that checked out. Because nowadays, when it comes to cancer detection, many cancers can be detected through a blood test, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You're so right about that, that most guys, we have a lot of us high pain tolerance.
uh-huh.
It's like we tend to grow up thinking that we should be providers. Like, we're tough guys. I mean, you're a Navy guy, and you're like, all right, I'm going to shake it off, walk it off. We don't go to the doctor unless you think you're dying. I mean, I'm describing the household I grew up in. I'm
Yeah,
describing even myself as a person. I'm like, I don't have, I've lived in Minnesota for a little over 4 years. I don't even
yeah.
have a doctor. I don't have a doctor.
What? Are you
No,
serious?
I'm dead serious. I don't even have a doctor that I go
God.
to. If I have a cold or something, I'll go to the like the quick doctor in the CVS or the Walgreens or somewhere, and that's it. I
Yeah,
don't even have a doctor. And it could have a little bit to do with how I grew up in a small country town, but you just didn't go. And but it is important. And I'll share something back with you, just for the guys as well, since we're talking on this subject. When I was 16 years old, and I was just barely driving, just starting to date, and I was super healthy, and I was actually bodybuilding, and I was powerlifting. I was on the high school powerlifting team, and you know, life was great. And I woke up in the night in severe pain in that groin area. And I'm like,
yeah,
what's going on? And I thought, well, it's probably how I lifted or something like that. And I tried to manage it, and it just wasn't going away. And I woke my parents up and I said, hey, something's wrong. And I ended up having a testicular torsion.
yep.
And a torsion is where basically the testicle turns and cuts off the blood supply
Wow.
to the testicle. And they brought me in. I went into surgery, and I was just that close to losing my testicle. If I had waited any longer, I would have lost it. And it turned out, for whatever reason, I was born without the little things that attach them in place so they don't move around.
Yeah,
And so now I'm good and haven't had any problems since then. But guys, you gotta get checked out. Don't
yeah.
learn from our mistakes and go get checked out. So
Yeah, and and a great resource for the guys out there. It's there's a website called as a Testicular Cancer Awareness Foundation. They're out of Colorado, so a lot of great information for guys to know what the warning signs are and that kind of stuff. Great resource.
well, awesome. Thank you for
But
sharing that.
yeah,
You mentioned that this two-time cancer survivor, it kind of brought you into the holistic health world and kind of taking care of yourself. You mentioned oils earlier, and just knowing from watching your social media and knowing you personally that you work in oils. And tell us a little bit about what you do today. I know you're part-time, or forgive me if I'm wrong. I want to say part-time with Delta, but your daytime with Delta, however you want to term that.
daytime. Yeah,
Daytime with Delta. And but you are big into oils. Tell us what led to that and what you do with that and how you use it to help others.
yeah, absolutely. So it was, I'd say about 15 years ago, was at the convention center was going through a health fair. And, I smelled, a good aroma in the expo hall. It's like, what is that? So, wandered around the expo hall and got brought into a booth, and the company was Young Living Essential Oils. It's like, oh, what is this stuff? So me and my husband, we started talking to the rep there, and at the time, I had experienced a really bad acid reflux, where to the point of where I was taking a prescription drug to deal with the acid reflux. So talk a little bit more about my issue that I had at the time with this rep there. She said, "Hey, why don't you try some peppermint essential oils for that?" It's like, really? That's gonna help it out? So it's like, all right, I'm kind of like a guinea pig. I like to try new things all the time because I'm really a believer that there's all kinds of cool things out there to try. You won't know if it works until you try it. So it's like, all right, let me try this peppermint essential oil. So I tried this peppermint essential oil for, a good solid month. And after a month, my acid reflux was relieved, which was awesome. It's like, this is pretty cool. And ever since then, I've been on a path of self-discovery with health and wellness, learning about the essential oils. And like for example, I mean, the history of essential oils have been around for, God, thousands of years. I mean, it goes back to ancient Egyptian times, back to the ancient Christian times. As far as the science, I'm a science guy, kind of a science geek by nature. I love science in high school and stuff like that. So then I started to question it. It's like, all right, I need some science, some data that this stuff works. So I started doing some investigating on PubMed.com. It's an online resource for clinical studies, and I searched for essential oils. And shoot, like last time I checked on PubMed.com, there's over 12,000 clinical studies that back up essential oils that it works. It works for all kinds of different challenges, if you will. So yeah, no, it's good stuff, and I'm still learning. Recently with the cancer, it helped with just easing my mind. There's some truth to aromatherapy affects certain parts of the brain. For example, like you ever remember? I remember growing up with my father's mom, so my grandmother. Every Christmas, she would make this amazing wild rice hot dish. It's a Minnesota, she was part Polish, German. So this hot dish had wild rice and cream of mushroom. And I probably ate a big, gigantic bowl like this. I was a fat
Yeah.
kid. I remember I was 12 years old and I was 185 pounds as a 12-year-old. So I was like, I definitely ate well at my grandma's house. But
Wow.
yeah, but you look at life or you walk, say like when you walk through the mall and you walk through you walk by Cinnabon, you remember that you smell the cinnamon. So certain aromas will help us remember certain memories throughout our lives. So aromatherapy does play a big role in how the brain works and how it can help us perform better. They found out that citrus oils, when you smell a citrus oil like orange or tangerine, that will increase your memory capacity or to remember certain things. Even like cedarwood. Cedarwood, not to get too sciencey on you, but like cedarwood is high in what's called sesquiterpenes and increases the oxygen level in the bloodstream. So if you need a good little pick me up, you sniff a little cedarwood essential oil.
Oh, awesome. You know,
Yeah,
I I can't help but think in today's climate where people are probably maybe this will result in people are more conscious of their health and what they're doing with their health and how they're managing it and what things that they're doing to clean their home and keep their home smelling nice and how they're managing their mental health and their self-care and all these words that, by the way, when I was growing up, when you were growing up, they weren't even things. I mean, I never heard the term self care or mental health until in recent years because there were things people didn't talk about.
right.
But I would think the industry that you're in today has to just be continuing to grow and will blossom and help a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's from the business aspect of it, Young Living Essential Oils, they are number 9 when it comes to direct sales companies in the world. So number 1 is, I think it's still Amway is still number 1. So Young Living is like number 9 or number 10.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And since you're talking about like multi-level marketing or network marketing, there are a lot of people that are considering potentially doing some type of network marketing or multi-level marketing. You know, I think coming out of the coronavirus outbreak, there's going to be, unfortunately, a huge economic effect. There's going to be a lot of bankruptcies, a lot of businesses out of work, a lot of people out of work, and they're going to be looking for their plan B. They're going to be looking for something new to do. What advice would you give someone considering going into network marketing?
Yes. So the one thing that I want to share with people, network marketing, when people hear the words network marketing, multi-level marketing, a lot of people think of it as a pyramid scheme. So let me share with this, a pyramid scheme. So you got your pyramid. I explain a pyramid as at the very top, you have the CEO of a corporation, you have the managers, the supervisors, and you got your W-2 employees at the very bottom. Those W-2 employees will never make any more money than the CEO at the top. That's a true pyramid. In network marketing, it's an inverted pyramid. So at the bottom is me, the CEO of my business, and above me is my team of distributors, and they can make more money than I do. And not only that, the tax benefits of having a home business. As a W-2 employee, you cannot write off your home office, you cannot write off your cell phone, your car, all that kind of stuff. There are no tax benefits to being a W-2 employee. As a home business owner, as a business owner, there is an abundance of write-offs that will help your bottom line, and you will save and hold more onto you will hold on to more of your money versus being a W-2 employee. And now with us being stuck at home, we have the opportunity to network on social media. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's AGC, there's BNI, there's plenty of opportunities to network. And not only that, some of the perks of owning your own home business, the best thing that I like about it is the self-development. It has forced me, well, not forced, you have to be willing to do it. Well, yes and no. I mean, in circumstances like COVID-19, either you're forced to think differently or you're going to be in the same position as you are before COVID-19. So, and it's all choice. You got to choose, where do you want to be? Do you want to be sitting at home as a W-2 employee, hoping your unemployment check gets to you on time? Or do you want to go out there and create your own business and basically create your own economy?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
no, that's great advice. I hadn't really honestly considered the fact of having a network marketing business because of the tax benefits. Now, there's going to be many more benefits than that, but however, that is a huge benefit. I mean, I look at how much I'm able to write off in my own home office, and
yeah,
how we're using storage at the house and that space, and portions of your energy bills, and things of that nature. I never even considered the fact that likely someone that's even just loves the product and wants to use it, being a distributor or a someone that is selling, uh, the benefits and the taxes would outweigh being that distributor alone. I mean, you'd be like, okay, this makes total sense for me to do this, even if I didn't sell a whole lot, it
yeah,
still makes sense.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And real quickly too, I get people that say, well, I can't sell, I don't know how to sell, or I don't know how to do network marketing. I say, okay, here's a think about this. So when I say, hey, Travis, go check out this amazing restaurant downtown Minneapolis, great food, great steaks, whatever, and stuff like that. You go check out that restaurant, and I don't get a commission off of that sale. That is referral marketing. That is network marketing, plain and simple. We do it every day. We just don't realize that we're doing it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. using a language that I love, which is like networking. You're like, you always got to be networking, and then referrals. I mean, those are the things that I think make the business world go around. So that's awesome.
I just want to share with everybody that this book here, it talks about referral marketing in essence. So about 10 years ago, I had a passenger up in first class, and this passenger, was noticing how the crew was, and he said he got my attention. I had knelt down to him, and this guy said, "Hey," it's like, "Hey, I noticed you're the only flight attendant that's smiling. The rest of your crew seems to be unhappy." It's like, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, just a happy guy." And we started talking. Long story short, I was talking to Joe Girard. So if you look up Guinness Book of World Records, Joe Girard sold the most cars, yeah, at his time, and I think he still holds the Guinness Book of World Records. He sold over 200 plus cars a year during his time, and this was back in the 1960s, 1950s. So he didn't have the advantage of the internet. And his secret to his success was getting to know people, taking note of their birthdays, sending them birthday cards, giving them the actual phone call saying, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, the basics. It's the
Yeah.
basics that we have to, and I think oftentimes in this crazy world of the internet, we forget the basics. And this COVID-19 has shown us that, you know what? Pick up the phone and actually have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Just liking a comment on Facebook is not enough in
No.
today's world. You have to do more if you want to maintain your business relationship or you want to get future sales from them. So that leads me to you've said yes to AGC. You've not been you and your husband both, and you've not been members very long. And I knew you through doing other types of networking. What is it that attracted you to AGC?
I like the flexibility of it. I've been part of other networking groups where it's a little more, uh, I don't want to say rigid, but
Mhm.
more structured, if you will.
Structured, yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I like AGC because it's a little more flexible, and I like the aspect of the social part of it. There's food and there's
Mhm.
drinks to be had with it, and I really like the aspect of the what is it? I think it's the TED style talks that you guys
Yes.
have. I love that kind of stuff. I'm a self-help junkie, if there's a Tony Robbins event or if there's an Eric Worre seminar going I'm on it because I'm a believer that you have to fill this up with good stuff, otherwise it goes to waste.
Oh, that's great. I can't get enough. And right now is the perfect time to be ingesting as much as you possibly can: motivation, inspiration, education. Don't sit in front of Netflix too long. Pick
Oh,
up a book or watch some kind of educational, motivational thing. AGC alone, we have over 100 videos now on YouTube that you can binge watch. AGC talks and podcasts and get lots of great things, just like you did in this podcast as well. Well, Steve, I want to say thank you. You've given us quite a few nuggets, and I really appreciate the opportunity to interview you. And if people are interested in learning more about you or connecting to you, reading your blog, any of those things, where can they find you?
yeah, just go to my website is stevefillmore.com. So that's yep, it's right there on the screen. Two L's. And yeah, check me out, opt in there, connect with me on social media, and then you'll be directed to my main website after that.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
again, thank you for being on the AGC experience today. I greatly appreciate your words of wisdom and sharing with our audience. And I want to take this time too to just say thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We're getting viewers, we're getting listeners from all over the world checking out the AGC experience. The best way that you can help us is to tell others, is to share this podcast with someone else. If you know a man in your life that you're like, you know what, they need to hear that portion about testicular cancer. If you
Yes.
know someone in your life that they need to hear the tax benefits of having a side hustle, if you know someone in your life that could be looking for a plan B, or just understands the importance of adding positivity and motivation into their life, share this podcast, hit subscribe, encourage others to do so. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
This podcast was produced by Elation Studios. Go to www.elationstudios.co to learn more. Elation Studios. Discover your voice, clarify your vision, build your life.